they're there. You know, I don't feel like I'm skinny, but I'm really healthy and I have lots of energy and I wake up in the morning ready to take on the day because I feel good. And you know, healthy is the new wealthy, in my opinion, because so many people, doesn't matter how much money you have, my parents have accumulated a lot of wealth. My stepmom has been on all manner of NutraSweet as long as I can remember. She's got Parkinson's, in a wheelchair. Doesn't matter how much money she has. No, health is the new wealth. My dad just had emergency gallbladder surgery. I think he would exchange all of his wealth for a little bit of health for the two of them. So health is the new wealth. Society wants to focus on short-term fixes versus lifestyle changes, and short-term fixes never work. That's why we're constantly gaining and losing the same 20 pounds, and we never feel any better, and we lose it, and then we gain it back faster than ever, and then it gets into this vicious cycle. We diet, and it makes our metabolism slow down when we just restrict calories, and when we don't increase our nutrient intake. We end the diet, we go back to normal eating, and we gain the weight back faster than ever. See, food companies don't care about your health, and healthcare providers don't really care about your food. They may make a few recommendations, but they're not going to say to you, hey girl, you're killing yourself with your knife and fork. You're digging your own grave with your fork. Back away from the table, stop eating the sugar. They're not going to say to you, hey diabetic, you can't just keep on amping up your insulin. It doesn't work at a certain point. You're going to have all these extra side effects, so stop eating the sugar. So a lot of the sugar is hidden, but let me just close that so I don't keep on that. But a lot of it we know is there, and we eat it anyway, and it's because it's addictive. We crave the thing that's killing us. I heard a dietitian say, the more white bread, the sooner you're dead. And so when I want a yeasty white bread roll at O'Charlie's, I just say to myself, hey girl, the more white bread, the sooner you're dead, and I'd lose my appetite for it. So meanwhile, we're getting sicker and fatter and more sedentary and dissatisfied with life. And this generation of kids, and lean in and listen to this because I was shocked, are not expected to live have as long a lifespan as their parents. This is the first generation who are estimated to live a shorter life than their parents, and it's because of our food. And we have to take responsibility for that because we're buying it. Parents are buying it. So is anybody surprised by that? Probably not. So I know it's kind of overwhelming though, isn't it? Because there's so much conflicting information out there. I don't know if you've ever gone into a health food store and just sort of turned around in a circle or just sort of stared at the shelves thinking, what should I buy? And then everything is really expensive, and so you don't really know, you don't mind spending money on your health, right? Because you know you're gonna spend it, if you don't get it right now, you're gonna spend it later at the nursing home or the doctor's office. So you don't mind, but you'd like to have some simplicity to it and know that what you're spending is actually an investment and not just, you know, throwing good money after bad. Sometimes medical professionals call vitamins bedpan bullets because they're so compacted into one vitamin that the stomach dumps before it digests, and so it just goes right on through. And so you literally are just flushing your money. So, you know, it feels a little overwhelming. There's so many weight loss products, a lot of wasted time and money. Does feeling healthy and fit really need to be this difficult? And what if you could solve the issues once and for all? That's really what I wanted, was to solve the issues once and for all, so I didn't have to keep feeling guilty or you know, because of something that I ate, and feeling confused. So I wanted a way to live that I don't have to keep rethinking it. So what if there was an easy program that combined clean eating with delicious food that would eliminate toxins, reduce inflammation, balance blood sugar, curb cravings, boost energy, help the body transition from acidic to alkaline? That's important because cancer does not thrive in an alkaline environment, but in an acidic environment, it grows and grows and grows. Sugar actually feeds cancer. Correct nutritional deficiencies. When we correct the nutritional deficiencies, our body comes out of starvation mode and doesn't feel like it has to hold on to every calorie, and reduce oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is like you take an antioxidant. You guys have probably heard of doing that, right? You take antioxidants like C and E and all those things because pollution and bad food choices, dead calories like table sugar, all that causes oxidative stress. We don't die of the plague anymore, except for Ebola. But we die of oxidative stress. of heart disease and diabetes, of autoimmune diseases, that kind of thing. So what if there was a way that you could do this and stick with it? So do I have your attention? How much does your health matter to you and the people who love you? I always say if you really love your kids, then don't make them visit you at the nursing home. Don't make them have to, you know, take care of you in your old age. If you love your kids, take care of yourself. That's the best thing you can do for your kids. Because if you're healthy, you're going to be able to have fun with your grandkids and their kids. And but if you're not, then they will be the ones either feeling guilty for not taking care of you or taking care of you. And that's the choices that you make right now affect that. Whether you want to believe it or you don't is your business. But there's a lot of studies that back up the fact that we need supplementation in our diet because our food is dead, doesn't have a lot of nutrient value. Even fresh vegetables are still not as nutritious as they were 50 years ago because the soil's depleted, unfortunately. So are you ready to make a change? That's really the question. Detoxification. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that because you can lose weight and not detox. That's the other sort of factor that will fail you. One is to have the nutritional deficiencies and have your body in starvation mode, but the other is if you don't detox as well as lose weight. So are you experiencing low energy, brain fog or frequent headaches, sugar cravings, constipation, bloated or gassy after meals, indigestion or acid reflux, can't function without coffee, aches, pain, stiffness, difficulty losing weight, taking prescription meds, food allergies or skin problems, consuming fast foods or processed foods regularly, consuming regular or diet sodas? You know, I made a rule for myself that I just wouldn't get food that can come in through the car window, and that's helped a lot. I will occasionally, if I have to drive through, I'll try to drive through Chick-fil-A or something like that because I know they don't use trans fats and a lot of chemicals in their food. But even salads, even mixed salad is treated with chemicals to stay looking fresh, that when you eat the chemicals, they cause you to retain fluid, and they're chemicals on your lettuce to keep it looking fresh. So even, you know, if you can just think about consuming fast foods, just take some food with you. And consuming regular or diet sodas. Diet sodas, of course, are full of aspartame or, you know, other chemical sweeteners that if someone says to you, we're just going to tweak that molecule, a big alarm needs to go off in your head. You don't want them to tweak your molecules. That's a bad idea. And regular soda is made with high fructose corn syrup, which is like sugar on steroids, right? It's sugar to the nth degree. So both things, you know, are not good for you. And oh, Kristen, sorry. Oh, there we go. It's all these newfangled contraptions. So detoxification is essential. Number one, we want to cleanse the liver because the liver regulates fat metabolism and is a major fat burning organ. It pumps excess fat out of the body, and fatty liver disease is rampant right now, even among non-drinkers, because our liver is our filter. It processes the food we eat, the medications we take, the pollutions we breathe, the chemicals we put on our skin and are exposed to every day. It shoulders our toxic burden. When too much garbage is coming in, the liver cannot keep up and it begins to store fat rather than send it on through and kind of burn it. So what's the cure for fatty liver? It's only lifestyle change, that's all. Diet is the most important factor. And I don't know if you know anyone with cirrhosis or fatty liver that you think they're not drinkers. How did this happen? It typically is happening from a high toxic diet that's full of fat and full of toxins. So we want to also identify allergenic and addictive food and remove the junk, because some food is set up to fail you. The middle of the grocery store sets you up for failure. It's high in carbs and grains and high in chemicals and sugar and sodium and processed food in general. So research shows that the two most common food allergens or sources of inflammation in the body are dairy and gluten. Dairy products are hard to digest and can be full of fat and chemicals as well if they're not organic. And gluten is a sticky protein found in wheat and other grains that studies show up to half the population is sensitive to and causes a mild allergenic response, which we would call inflammation in the body. And if you feel like my skin's a little doughy, the surface of my skin actually looks a little swollen, My joints are achy. All that is inflammation. There are even heart specialists that feel that without the inflammatory effect of certain foods, the fats really don't matter that much if they're good fats as it relates to heart disease. But when you elevate that blood sugar and you get the insulin, that's what stores the fat as plaque. So it's really the carbs and dead carbs that are the culprit. Gluten is the protein that's found in wheat, and the body gives a mild allergenic response to it, or a not mild, a severe allergenic response, like celiacs. So we're not talking about celiacs or that you're allergic to gluten, but we're just saying that your body is sensitive to it, and so inflammation happens. So by taking the dairy and the gluten out of the diet, you set yourself up for success instead of failure. Because we all will be removing foods that trigger food cravings, you'll begin to notice that real food actually tastes good, and you'll feel you're in control and will experience an overall feeling of well-being. You'll learn to recognize hunger and eat to fuel your body instead of as a pastime, like you're just sitting around munching on something. I'm bad about that, but we're gonna stop that. If we do sit around and munch on something, we're gonna munch on carrots and hummus or cauliflower or something like that. It's difficult to overeat real food. It's difficult to overeat cauliflower and zucchini, and it's difficult to eat so much that you would overeat. But that also will help you control your calorie intake when you're eating real food and filling up on good food. You'll kickstart your weight loss when you cleanse your liver and increase your nutrient intake with healthy food and supplements. You'll reset your metabolism and kickstart your weight loss.